Hey everybody, welcome to Zach's Soapbox. I'm Zach. This is the video for the week of Friday, September 19th, 2025. Hello everyone. Like I said, I'm Zach. Welcome to my Soapbox, where once a week, every Friday, I get on here, speak my mind, talk about whatever I want to talk about, and then upload it. You guys give me feedback or you don't, things like that. As of late, we've been closing in around 200, 220 views a week, which isn't bad. We've been stuck at 48 subscribers now for a while. We'll go up to 49, then we'll go back down to 48, but we're hovering at 48 for a while. So if you haven't liked or subscribed to the page, please feel free to do so if you so desire. But welcome to my little corner of the world here. And this week, I'm going to do, a buddy of mine come up with a topic, and he's like, pick some songs, and name some songs that have touched your heart or have a significant meaning to you, like a list of songs. And I kind of did a variation of that. This is, I believe, the first video I've made since the passing of Ozzy Osbourne on July 22nd, and the day before my birthday. And as I've talked about before, Ozzy and Sabbath music, it's played a very significant role in it's almost been like, in a way, a soundtrack to my life. My mom was an Ozzy fan back in the day. Went to plenty of Ozfest. I think of all the years they had Ozfest, I went to like 9 of them in a row every year from like 99 up to 2007, and then they had one in 2010 I also went to. I didn't make the one in Frisco, Texas in 2008, the one off date down in Texas, outside of Dallas. But so I figured rather than talk about Ozzy and talk about Crazy Train or Black Sabbath and talk about War Pigs and the Iron Man, things like that, let's do some of my favorite Ozzy and Sabbath deep cuts. I didn't necessarily put these in order, but I know which ones I like the best. So we're doing my favorite Ozzy and Black Sabbath deep cuts is the video topic for this week. Feel free to disagree or agree down in the comments, engage for that there Al Gore's rhythm thing. I get a lot of people that watch, but they don't engage and interact, which is what, YouTube wants. Or a lot of people will like the link on, say, my YouTube page or Facebook page, things like that. But here we go. Favorite Ozzy and Sabbath deep cuts. My number one favorite all-time Black Sabbath song is Into the Void. It's the last track off of Masters of Reality, released in 1971. But Into the Void is my favorite Black Sabbath song of all time. My favorite Ozzy Osbourne solo song is Diary of a Madman off the album of the same name, released in 1981, the last album made with Randy Rhoads. Things like that. But yeah, I'm old enough to have heard Diary of a Madman live once. Ozzy played it back at Ozzfest 2000 with Joe Holmes on guitar. And I actually got to hear Diary of a Madman live once at my second ever Ozzfest. And then for number 2, I'll pick a deep cut would be My Jekyll Doesn't Hide. I guess it would be number 3 because I named the first, Ozzy and Sabbath song that I like the most. But My Jekyll Doesn't Hide off of Osmosis. It's like track, I think, 8 on the album. But yeah, I like that one. And then another one of my favorite all-time Sabbath tunes is Symptom of the Universe off of Sabotage, 1975. The one with the mirror on it, and they're all standing there, and they're like kind of reflecting in the mirror. But Symptom of the Universe is one of my favorite Sabbath songs. You used to hear it a lot live. Like I have on DVD, I have a Sabbath playing from 1978 at the Hammersmith Odeon in I think it's London, and they opened with Symptom of the Universe on the 1978 tour. Interesting fact: Van Halen opened for Sabbath in 1978. But Symptom of the Universe. Let's see. Another one of my favorite Sabbath deep cuts is off of Sabbath 4, Volume 4, which was released in 1972, called Under the Sun, Every Day Comes and Goes. That's another one of my favorite Sabbath deep cuts. And then, with Ozzy, as much as you like Ozzy's, like, heavier stuff, you also like a lot of his ballads. And I think one of his underrated ballads that he doesn't get enough credit for is off of 1988's No Rest for the Wicked, called Fire in the Sky. It's the one with Miracle Man and all that on it. But Fire in the Sky is one of my favorite Ozzy deep cuts and Ozzy ballads. Um, let's see. Also, there's a song called I Ain't No Nice Guy. It's from Motorhead because it has Lemmy in it. But Ozzy and Lemmy are doing a ballad together called I Ain't No Nice Guy. And then Slash from Guns N' Roses plays the guitar solo in that song. So you got Ozzy, Slash, and Lemmy from Motorhead doing a song together. So I had to throw that in there. Ain't No Nice Guy. It's a nice kind of rock ballad. I also chose Back on Earth, which Back on Earth, technically Ozzy did film a video for that because it was one of the singles to kind of help promote the Ozman Cometh record, which was a compilation album from like 1997. So I almost, after I thought about it, I almost didn't put that on here, but I like Back on Earth because it was a leftover track from the Osmosis recording sessions. And if I'm not mistaken, it was written by like Randy Rhoads' brother and sister or something like that. But Back on Earth, which was, like I said, a leftover track from the Osmosis recording sessions that ended up on the Osmosis compilation album. Number 9 is Bang Bang You're Dead, which Bang Bang You're Dead was the demo track for what that song that would become Facing Hell off of Down to Earth from 2001. That song was originally called Bang Bang You're Dead, and the lyrics were different. But I actually kind of prefer that version better. It's more kind of darker and moodier and sinister. And I kind of prefer the Bang Bang You're Dead over Facing Hell off of Down to Earth in 2001. And number 10, again, I could have chose many others. How about Killer of Giants off of the 1986 album, what the hell was it? I'm having a brain fart on camera. The Ultimate Sin album, the one with Shot in the Dark and all that on it. Jake E. Lee was on that album on guitar. But yeah, Killer of Giants is one of my favorite Ozzy deep cuts. Again, I've also heard that live back in 2010 on the Scream Tour. Ozzy was throwing that in a set. And, Gus G was on guitar back then. That sort of thing, before Zakk Wylde came back, man. But so, that's number 10, man. I could have picked so many others. There's plenty of honorable mentions. Like, for example, the song War Pigs off of Paranoid was originally called Walpurgis. And I kind of prefer the demo version of that. I also prefer the demo version from the Basement tapes. Remember on the Osmosis compilation album, those first few songs were the Basement tapes, and those were the demos of like the song Black Sabbath and War Pigs. And I kind of prefer the demo versions of these songs because they're a lot more darker and sinister. And I think they added like a layer of complexity, like in the song Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. In the demo version, there's like another verse in there and stuff. I kind of prefer that. So there's plenty of honorable mentions. This was kind of hard to do because I know Ozzy's stuff pretty good. And, things like that. And at the time I'm recording this, it's only been about 3 weeks since he passed away. And, in a way, it's been so hard because I never got to meet the man, but I did send him a letter when I was 18, and he sent me back an autographed picture and an autographed photo, which I still have framed in my kitchen to this day, 20 some years later. I just, plus, I'll be honest, listening to Ozzy and stuff makes me think of my mom a lot, you know what I mean? And some of the best memories, me and my mom have, and some of the most fun we've ever had was at Ozzy concerts and Ozfest and shit like that. So, Ozzy's music is kind of tied to a lot of memories for me, So I almost did this video also by request because somebody come up with this topic, like I said in the beginning. So I kind of did a play on that. I didn't do exactly what you wanted, but I hope I got close enough. Anyways, guys, coming up on 10 minutes. I hope you enjoyed. I hope, what are some of your deep cuts that you would agree or disagree with? Again, feel free to, leave a comment, like, comment, and share for the algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe. Again, we've been at about 48 subs for a long time now. Let's get to 50 if I can. That'd be cool. If I can't, that's okay too. I do this kind of for the cathartic. I do it for me. I don't do it for the money or the algorithm or the fame or anything like that. Plus a lot of the shit I do is kind of a niche market. You know what I mean? But all right, guys, take care. Have a good weekend, and I will see you next week. And toodles.